And welcome back everybody to City Skylines with Splat. In our last episode, we spent some time putting together this amazing little regional airport that I'm hoping is going to continue to grow and expand as our city grows and has further need. Now, I know that there are 3 levels of expansion with the airport DLC, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do to this airport, and believe you me, we are going to do it. But the problem is, our city is not really big enough for an airport that size, and I just don't think that it makes a lot of sense to have this airport that employs basically more people than we have population in our city. So instead, we're going to spend some time doing a little bit of housekeeping on our city today. We actually have 5 things that we need to focus on in order to improve the City of Odyssey, and in no in particular order, they are as follows. Number 1. We need to bring the mass transit over to the airport. We don't have any buses and we don't have any metro leading to the airport. And so what happens is when the airplanes come in and everybody's ready to leave, we kind of get a little bit of a traffic jam. So I want to try to reduce that by making access to the airport easier for everybody in my city. Number 2 on my list actually came as a comment on my video that we made for Mount Olympus. It was suggested that we should add a cable car to our system to help with the traffic issues that we were having. And I think it's a great idea, and I would love this episode to see if we can't work a way to put a cable car system into Mount Olympus. That's going to be a lot of fun. Number 3 on my list is this disgusting mess right here. We have been adding some services to my city, and when we were trying to get the population up to get our airport ready to go for the DLC, I needed some additional things that we stuck in with the plan that we were going to be fixing it later. Well, today is that day. We are going to be fixing this up. We're going to be making it look a lot nicer. And number 3 will be to reorganize the service center. And number 4 on my list is that we need to improve our rail connections into our city. If you look here in the middle of the screen, I have one little rail connection going in and out, and that is a cargo hub. I would like to expand this so that we have at least one more cargo hub in our city for our industry to get their goods in and out of town, and that we can also add some connections for passengers, moving them around the city as well, because as we expand our city, we're going to be growing out into a much wider area that's not quite as densely populated, and people are going to be able to get in and out. So number 4 is we're going to be increasing our rail capacity. And last but not least, you may notice at the bottom part of our screen that we have quite a demand for residential. There is high demand for residential, and so this area right here inside this field is going to get turned into a new housing development. And that's going to be number 5 of the things that we need to get done today. Well, enough of the talking and jawing and hemming and hawing, as we used to say where I was growing up. It's time for us to start getting on this list. So let's get cracking with number 1 and get some mass transit connected up to our airport. All right, so we need to bring our mass transit over to the airport. I know that the airport comes with bus stations or bus stops and metro stations and things like that you can get built into the airport. And believe you me, we are going to be using those, and I do plan on getting those going as once we have a city big enough to support a larger airport. But currently, we don't really have a good valid reason to be expanding out the terminal or anything like that, so I'm just going to use just a basic metro stop to bring the subway over, and then we're just going to put a bus stop in over here. A regular bus line that goes back to our transit hub. So to start with, let's do our metro stop. Now, a while back, they released some content creator stuff that I really enjoy for the metro lines. And there are some really neat metro stops in here. And one of the ones that I really like is this one here, this Sunken Island platform metro station that has 2 platforms, one up and one down. And that's all we need for now. Because we already have this line that goes over to our residential area in our university, I think what I want to do is just bring it down and have it connect in to the airport line. So the way the Sunken Island platform metro station works is you can put it over a street and it will straddle it and put the line on both sides, and then you'll have the actual platforms be underground. We're going to be doing some pretty major renovations with this area a little bit later as the airport expands. So as I put in this metro line, I actually want to do a little bit of reconstruction on the roadway system here that we have, and just do a small adjustment. And so I'm going to do that, and I will come back and show you what I've got going so far. So So as you can see, I have reconfigured things a little bit. I brought these one-way loops that went up to the second level of our concourse. I brought them down in a tighter circle so that they can be a little bit more, so just a little bit more space efficient, because I want to actually put the tram station in over here on the right, or perhaps over here on the left. I haven't quite decided yet where I want to put it. We're not exactly centered, but it's close enough. And then I also just cleaned up the services area over here a little bit to make better use of the space. So what we need to figure out now is where we're going to put the metro station. I would like to put the metro station up close to the terminal so that as people come in and out, it's easy for them to get to where they need to be. And I'm thinking I would like to put it perhaps right in this area. We might even just go ahead and stick it in right there, and then we'll draw a path over to the concourse. So we're gonna drop that in right there so that people can come in and out of the metro station. Let's grab a quick path here, and we shall make a path that goes from here over to our sidewalk. You know, people actually are gonna walk up here and they're gonna walk over here and they can just go across. So that actually doesn't need to have a special path. We're just gonna skip that for now. Let's go ahead and drop in some tracks to get this connected up to the rest of our station here. So now people can use the metro to get to our airport. All right, so that should allow people to come in and out. I don't know why they're magically appearing here, but whatever. Okay, so let's just let that run for a little while and see how we go. So it definitely looks like people are using this metro station, and that is going to be a nice fit. We'll come back later and we'll decorate it and do some detailing, but for now we're just going to put that in just to try to cut down on some of the traffic. Speaking of which, this wasn't on my list of things to do, but this is backing up something horrible, and I need to figure out what it is that's causing this problem. Is it just the amount of cars and it just can't handle that much? Or because, like, what is causing this to hold up? Oh, I see. Everybody's cutting across traffic. Well, you are not allowed to do that. So we're going to grab our lane connector tool and we're just going to do a little Control S and say, no more. No mas. Everybody who's getting on gets into this lane. They zip on by. These two lanes here, you guys just keep going forward and stop that silliness. Perfect. And you know what? I bet they're going to do the same thing over here. So let's just click here and we shall say Control S. No more for you as well. All right. So now they should be getting on a lot faster and that will no longer hold up. What are you? Oh, okay. So now we're doing all kinds of weird lane changing here. So we're going to say no, and we're going to say no. So when you come off the roundabout, you choose which lane you want to go into. And that's the lane you use. None of this screwy lane changing right before the intersection. Just get in the lane that you want to use, go turn left, be happy. Let me throw in a bus route or two to see if that can also help minimize the amount of traffic we're getting in and out of here. And I will be right back. All right, so I got our bus stop all set up and we've got the buses out and running. And as you can see here, we are rocking the brand spanking new Airport Express buses. The articulated ones because they're larger, because as you can see, we have quite the crowd of people who want to use this bus. I have never noticed this before. Look at the crowd. Starting from the left and going to the right, they line up by color. Red, yellow, green, and then blue. I have never noticed that about this game before. The crowd is all color coordinated. That is the craziest thing. But I like these new articulated buses. I think they look pretty sharp. Basically, the route that I set up is going to run a loop around the airport establishment. The first loop is going to go up onto the upper level where it's going to pick up and drop people off. And then it's going to swing back around and go to the lower level where it's going to pick up more people before it goes back to our transportation hub, where people can make the change that they need to make to go to a metro or another bus to get into the city. So I think that's going to work out really, really nice. I didn't use the double-decker buses because of how many people we had. These are 120 people each, and the double-decker buses I think were only 90. So I wanted to make sure that we had big enough buses to handle the crowds. As you can see down below, we have a lot of people to move around. Job number 1, connect mass transit to our airport to alleviate traffic. Check it off the list, baby. We are finished. Let's move on to job number 2. All right, and for task number 2, we're going to take it over to the comment section from our video we made where we installed this beautiful Mount Olympus residential area. And Alexander Wells said, Mount Olympus could use some cable cars. Well, Alexander, I agree with you 100%. In fact, I've never actually used cable cars in this game before, but I'm excited for the opportunity to give it a go. And, you know, any kind of public transportation that's going to reduce the traffic that we have up here is going to be a huge benefit. So thank you so much for that comment. And I love getting comments from all of you. If you ever have any suggestions for things that you would like to see in the City of Odyssey, please put it in the comments down below. I read them all, and I will take your suggestions into consideration and probably end up doing a lot of them because I am not the best person at this game. I'm not the best player, and you guys have some amazing ideas. Now, because I've never done cable cars before, I've had a little bit of a play around with the city already, and I've just kind of tried to figure out how they work. And I went ahead and pre-thought out some places to put the cable cars. So we have our starting station down here, right by the lakefront. I thought that was kind of a beautiful, picturesque area. It appears like people are already coming into the cable car booth, even though there are actually no cable cars available for running, but hey, it's what they want to do. Let's pause the game and take a look. So I moved the water pumps over here, put a cable car stop in here. My idea is we're going to go up the mountain. We're going to go up this way, past the switchbacks, and we're going to go to this stop right here where apparently people are already moving in and out because they really want to ride a cable car. From here, we are going to bring the cars out and we're going to jump up into the air. We're going to go over the library. I don't know if that's legal or even safe, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to go past the soccer field. We're going to hug the edge of the border for what we have developed so far, and we are going to grab a stop right here. This is going to serve the commercial area. Then it's going to go from here and it's going to swing around. It's going to go up the mountain, and we have another stop that we've put in here. And we're going to go here, and then we're going to come out of here. We're going to go down this little embankment, and we're going to end at our end of station right here. And that is going to be, hopefully, a way to reduce the traffic that we have on these roads. So let's get cracking on putting in these cable car, what do they call them? Pylons, I guess? Let's do it. So, first thing we're gonna do, let's raise it up as we go because I want to make this climb as gentle as possible. Going up the hill. I want to line up with, oh, let's turn these on here. There we go. We're going to line up with that. Invalid shape. What does that mean? Space already occupied. No, the space is not occupied. I mean, perhaps it is. Let's go this way. But why does that... Am I not allowed to make that much of a curve? Oh, I can't turn that much. Okay, there. Why don't we do that? And then we'll put another one in. There we go. Then we're going to come out of here. It's with the hump. That is bizarre. Let's drop that down. There we go. All right. So we're going to come out of here. And we're going to go up as soon as we come out because we have to make a few steps to get up and over. The library, which we're going to do here. We're going to swing on over here. Turn that on so I can see the edge of the border. We're going to swing over here past soccer field. And then we're going to go up the mountain and into the station. From this station, we are going to proceed out. We're once again going to raise up as soon as we come out because we have we got to make some height here. And then we're just going to run up the backside these buildings. From there, we're going to curve. I think we need to have that height yet. Okay, we're going to curve up the mountain. We're going to go over the pathway and down into the station. And from here, we're going to drop there. We're going to drop down to here, and we're going to get rid of that. And into the station. I think that's going to work. Let's turn it on and see what happens. There goes a car. I love it. Cable car up. Cable cars across. Cable car over the city. Around the back. Now, some of you might be saying, why don't you put the cable cars in the front so everybody can get a view of the city as they go along? I thought about that, but the whole point of this is to serve different parts of the city, and I couldn't really figure out a way to get access to that backside by coming up the front. So I think this is going to work. So let's let this run for a little while and see if people actually want to use the cable cars. Well, I would call this a success. We're already up to nearly 600 passengers a week, people who wanted to go up the mountain, who are now going up and down without using a car. That is going to make a huge difference on the bus and on the traffic problems we were having. Thank you very much, Alexander Wells, for your suggestion. Great idea. We put it in. It's working well. Task number 2 checked off. And next on our list, challenge number 3 is to reorganize our services area, this big sprawling mess that you see before you. As the city was growing, I just kind of started chucking some stuff in here because I was in a hurry to get things up and running in order to get the population high enough for our airport. Well, now we have our airport in, and this area over here needs a major overhaul. This is ugly. What do we have here? We have a park maintenance building that needs to move somewhere else. We have large recycling centers. These are assets that I have picked up on Steam that I really like out of the workshop. I like them more than the waste transfer facilities because they don't actually make much pollution, and I think they're just a little bit more, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing than the waste management system. We also have over here a waste processing complex, which we don't actually need anymore because we've gotten rid of all of our waste transfer systems and we have been replacing them with, I will show you over here, these things. This is a little asset that I picked up off the workshop, and this is called an eco recycling center. It can do garbage and it doesn't create nearly as much pollution as even the transfer stations do. So we don't need the waste thing anymore. So that can actually get out of here and go. Over here, we have a fire helicopter depot. That's to stop my parks from burning down because fire trucks can't get into the parks. And we have a disaster response unit for when things do burn down. We gotta be able to build them back up quickly. Got our 2 power plants here, and we even have an advanced water treatment center. So this all needs to go away and get organized and decorated and made to look nicer. Stick with me here and let's see if we can get this cleaned up. So I think we can now check number 3 off of our list. We've got everything moved around. We've got it all moved into a little bit more of an organized service park area. And we've actually gone through and decorated, did some landscaping, put some trees in, some flowers in, bushes in, and I think it looks a lot better and a little bit more organized and planned than it was before. So number 3, reorganize the service area. Check it off the list. All right, moving on to number 4 on our checklist. You can see right here what it is we need to work on. We need to improve our rail connections drastically. Here in our city, we have one cargo rail station, and that is a problem because as you can see, there is just way too much traffic coming in and out of this singular area right here. So what I'm thinking we need to do, and I've already done a little bit of pre-work on this, I have added in an extra bit of track here that drops under the city. I know this is not the most realistic thing in the world, but it's what I came up with. We can move it around later if we need to, but for now, this is what we're gonna do. I added in this rail that drops down underneath the city, and it comes up here and pops out over here, goes tunnels through this mountain and connects over to this little spur of rail that we have over here. This spur of rail comes down along here and connects to the main spur that leaves out of the city and takes goods off to where they need to go. This is also connected via loop the other way around. So we've now made a circle that will connect this far side of our city over here by our forestry over here to this one that has access to the highway. And what I want to do is kind of twofold. I want to add one more cargo hub into the other side of the city where the forestry area is. And over here, I want to try to reorganize this a little bit so that we can make room for some passenger trains as well. I'm thinking what we'll probably end up doing is bringing a fork off of the rail here, and we'll move the we'll transfer the cargo hub up past the power stations to get it away from this main road. And that would also give us a little bit more room to work with so we can drop in some roads that let them get to the highway easier and ease up some of the congestion on this roundabout, because this roundabout just has too much stuff going on, and you can see where it's backing up here, it's backing up, it's just causing all kinds of problems. So let's pause the game. And the first thing we should do is head over to where our forestry is and get that other cargo hub put in, because that's going to reduce a lot of the traffic automatically so that we don't have to have everything going through this one area. Okay, so here we are over by our forestry area where we have this other spur of rail that comes in. And I would like to see if we can figure out a way to put both a passenger rail in here and a cargo rail in here. But for now, we're just gonna focus on cargo, because I think to do the passenger trains, we're gonna have to add more track just so we don't get a bunch of backed up trains, because this is just too tight to try to put that much stuff in. So let's focus on let's focus on the rail for the cargo first. So we'll get rid of some of this stuff. Now this fence is gonna have to go because we're gonna have to bring a road through here. We're gonna have to level some of this stuff out so that the road actually works. And I think we're just gonna pull a road right here, and we're just gonna go with a good old-fashioned industry road, and we are going to pull that sucker right down here. Straight line, please. Don't need anything special. Like so. Drop this in just to get the cargo hub in and figure out where it needs to be. That will do that. We're gonna delete that. All right, so let's grab the move it mod. Let's just do some Scoochie action. And here we use Scoochie products. Scoochie for all your fine scooching needs. Found only on Splat. Available someday. Drag it up there, hook that together. Go get some train tracks. Hook that together. How are we doing? Don't think I want that crossing there. Oh, this is, yeah, we're gonna have issues with train traffic because we need to move all of these nodes way farther back. Where is my border? Yeah, that's as far as we're gonna go for now because the border of what I own is there. And while I don't mind cheating a little bit to pull this rail in like this and get this all set up, I don't want to build the city itself outside of there. So we'll buy that later and work that out as it goes. But yeah, I think that right there is about all that we need to do. So now let's go over here and see if we can figure out how we're going to put in a passenger station. And I think that's going to involve pulling a spur off of this line here. Do some more high fashion Move It mod Scoochie. Scoochie for all your high fashion needs. Only the most fashionable of City Skyline players would be caught dead not wearing Scoochie. Don't like where that goes. Let's get rid of that. So is that going to be too close to that? Yes, that is going to be too close to that. Oh wait, no, this isn't going to be here anymore. Ah, yes, I am thinking. What are you thinking about? Everything. All right, so we're actually solving problems. Oops. So we are trying to solve problems that don't need to be solved, because this is actually going to go up here. I wonder if we should just turn it sideways. Let me look at that. Uh-huh. And we do something a bit like this. That still, I think, is going to be too close to that curve. Let's go away. Let's grab this, this, and this. And we're gonna kind of scooch them over. Scoochie, scoochie. Perfect. Now we're going to grab ourselves some train tracks. And what if we just brought the train tracks in like so? And instead of doing it the crazy way that the game thinks we should, we're going to do it in a way that makes a little bit more sense. Look at that. So the trains can come out of here. They can go there. They can do their thing. They can go here and they can go that way. And we can bring this together for now. And then all we have to do is connect this bad boy up. We can get rid of this roundabout. Don't need that. No more, no more, no more, no more. Delete the road, Jack. I'm in a loopy mood right now. And all we have to do now is come out here like so. And come over here like so. And that's still going to take the traffic to that roundabout, which we do not want to do. So we need to bring over or under the road, or the road over or under the tracks. I believe the road over or under the tracks is going to be an easier solution. So here we go. And now all that traffic doesn't have to go through that roundabout. They can actually go here and get to the highway. All right, so what was I saying? We were going to fix this. Yes, this is a bit dramatic. Basically, I just need that to be just high enough for a train to get through. And I think there's some trains on the track up there. So, all right, so we're going to do that. We're going to push the Control H button, which means take this node and then go over here to this node. Oh, no. We're going backwards. Move It mod. Grab that node. Push Control H, which lets us say that node needs to be the same height as whatever segment I'm going to click on. I'm going to click on this one right here and ding! Look at that. It does it automatically. Isn't that amazing? I don't think we're going to quite make it that far. So let's go up a little bit. Page up, because these cables. There we go. And then we're going to go that, and we're going to go that. Are there any more in there? No, there's not. Control H, and you guys go the same height as that node there. And does that get the cables underneath the bridge? Yes, it does. It's not perfect, but it's City Skylines. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, we could even lower the tracks down a little bit if we need to, but I think that is okay. So let's hit the go button and watch these trains come through. Look at that. It's almost like we planned it. And look at that. People are already coming in and out of there. They're going that way, of course. And some of them are going that way. That is exactly what I wanted to see. So that means now we have a little bit of room that we could put a passenger train station in here. And you might be thinking to yourself, Splat, how are you going to put a passenger train station here? There's only one rail going through. Won't the trains get all backed up? Yes, probably, but we have some tools that we can try to use for that. If we go over here to the content creator pack, we have some train stations Where are they? Down here. I want to see if one of these will work for what we're trying to do. We have these stations that have 4, like I think we have bypass stations. This is what I want to see. Elevated, don't want elevated. Don't want elevated. What's a sunken metro? Don't need sunken metro. Metro. Oh wait, how about I click on the train station button? Hey, look at that. Ground bypass station. This looks just like what the doctor ordered. Because if we can fit that in here, people can get on the trains can stop at the stations, and the trains that need to just continue through because they are not from the trains that don't stop at the station can just continue on. So we're going to get rid of this. We don't need that anymore because now they can go and they can go out here. And we might move these a little bit just to make room for the train station. Operation Passenger Train Station has been completed. We went ahead and put the bypass train station in from the content creator pack that we looked at earlier. And then I dipped into the new trees that came with the airport DLC to do a little bit of decorating because I thought it would look nice if it had some color added to it. So we've got these things here, which are called a Pacific rhododendron, which we've put around the area to give it some color, and we added in the jacaranda tree, a blooming one. I don't know if they grow in this kind of climate, but hey, I like how they look, and we went ahead and put them in. And then we've also gone ahead and put a little overpass. Don't have to busy up this main road that goes through. There was a content creator pack from a while back that brought some really neat bridge, decorative bridge assets into the game, and I went ahead and used one of those because I thought it just looked really nice and gave the train station a very well-rounded feel. I think that we can check number 4 off our list. We have improved our rail connections. All right, and we are ready now for task number 5 on our list of things to do, and that is to fix this demand that we have for residential. We are going to put a new neighborhood into this area right here next to the university. And I want this area to focus on 2 very specific, unique buildings. I want to focus on the Fountain of Life and Death here, and I want to focus on the Friendly Neighborhood Park. Additionally, I have gone through the Steam workshop and I have grabbed a few more assets, and I have developed a theme that I've called the College Neighborhood. This is right next to our university, and basically it includes low residential and some low commercial. Some of these assets are from the university, I think it's called the University Life DLC or something like that, that came out a while ago, and it's going to have these buildings here, but there is also some updated stuff from the content creator pack that adds a little bit more upscale housing to the area. And then I went ahead and just picked some generic low density commercial that we're going to throw in here as well. In addition to the low density commercial we're going to throw into this theme, I am wanting to try to use ploppable Rico for the first time. I have not actually spent much time using this mod before, but I've seen it and it looks like a lot of fun. And so in our neighborhood, we're going to put in some of these assets that I've also found. We got like a McDonald's, we've got a Bob Evans, we've got a Dollar Tree, we've got a Volkswagen, we got a Wendy's, got a Outback steakhouse. So let's start putting this thing together. Okay, unique building time. So this one is called the Fountain of Life and Death. And judging by the area of effect, I think I want to put it in here so that we get a little bit of it up in this way. And it also affects the neighborhood that we're building. It is just going to get dropped in like so. And that is going to go there. Beautiful. And then we have the Friendly Neighborhood Park, which also has a giant area of effect. And I think we're going to put that one down here. We're going to drop this puppy in like so. We're going to put our unique building in right there. All right, so I've got some roadways put in. I was trying to get away, like I said, from the parallel thing, and I think I did a pretty good job with that. I wanted to get more curves, a little more sweepy, some dead-end cul-de-sac things going on. And I've also added walking paths everywhere because I figured this is going to be like a university-type town, little college neighborhood. And so, you know, cars are not going to be something that's going to be super, super prevalent throughout here. We do have our parks put in, and now what we're going to do is we have to figure out where we want to put in some of the really neat new assets that I have, and I think we're just going to put them along this main drag right here. All right, so here's our Bob Evans, got our Wendy's, got our Outback Steakhouse, we've got a McDonald's, we've got a hotel, we've got an Applebee's, we've got a Dollar Tree, we've got a Ruby Tuesdays, we have a grocery store, we've got a couple of parks. So now all that's left to do is get the rest of this zoned in, and let's see what gets growing. So as you can see, this neighborhood is slowly starting to fill in, and it's kind of got this neat little, I would say like a less expensive vibe to it that you would see maybe in a university town, college students and whatnot living in and around the area. It's taking a little while to fill in, but I'm sure it's going to get all settled in as time progresses. So I think that we can check number 5 off our list. We have installed a new neighborhood, and we have addressed our residential demand needs. All right, so it looks like we got everything checked off of our list today. Number 1, we got our mass transit to our airport all set up. Number 2, we got a cable car route set up for Mount Olympus. Number 3, we got everything set up in our services area and got that organized and looking beautiful. Number 4, we improved our rail connections in the city. And number 5, we have a new neighborhood for people to come live in as our city grows and people are attracted to the City of Odyssey. I can't wait to see what we're going to be able to do in the future. If you guys have any suggestions, put those down in the comments below. I do read them, and we actually made use of some of the comments in today's video, so I would appreciate your guys' feedback. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me today, and until next time, I'll see you later.